everyone, welcome back to the Jak and Daxter Marathon. Now, today we will be covering Jak X, and for the purpose of this video I have purchased and recorded all of my gameplay on the PlayStation 4 version of the game, as the quality looked much better than my PlayStation 2 version. So any bugs and graphics I won't focus much on, as it's not really fair because it's not the original version of the game. I guess at least one plus to having it on the PlayStation 4 is I'll at least be able to save the game without risking the corruption. Thanks Jak X on the PS2. If you haven't seen them yet, and this is the first video you have clicked on, we have reviewed Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, Jak 2, and Jak 3. Now, if you've watched those videos, welcome back for Jak X, we'll begin that in a moment. But in the first three, I said that I won't be able to record Daxter as I don't know how to record a PSP. That is no longer a thing. I've actually downloaded a thing called an emulator, which I'm sure if you've seen the first three, you probably rolled your eyes and said, just use an emulator when I said I couldn't record Daxter. Well, fear not, I am using an emulator, so we will be able to cover Daxter. So look forward to that one. That will be the last review we do. This is Jak X, next will be The Lost Frontier. On the PS2, by the way. I'm not going to play the emulated version, even though the graphics will look better. I unfortunately already paid £45 for that. I know, I got robbed, but as I've already brought it on the PS2, I'm going to play that version. So it won't look as HD as an emulated version would, but you got to understand, if I've wasted that much money, I've got to use it. Anyway, let's get started with Jak X Combat Racing.
I told Jak, boost the sucker!
The game takes place somewhere after Jak 3. We don't know exactly where, it's just that it does take place after 3 as Daxter has his pants. Now, after researching this on Google, apparently it takes place 1 year after Jak 3, but it doesn't say that anywhere in the game, so I don't know how true that is. After the fantastic intro cutscene, all of our favourite characters are joined together for the reading of Crew's will. This is a really neat idea to bring back a fan favourite from Jak 2, and I'll bring him back, they have done, along with introducing his daughter.
Rain.
Crew had a daughter?
Crew? Reproduced? Ew! Can you imagine what that tub of jelly must look like?
They all drink the wine, with Jak being cautious. And thank God he's cautious, Jak's not that stupid. But it doesn't matter how cautious he is, because all the drinks have poison in them. Now that they're all poisoned, the hologram crew tells our crew that in order to get the antidote, they all have to take place in and win the Crass City Grand Championship. With no other choice, they all agree to take place. This is where we'll be introduced to GT Blitz, along with some fan favourite characters returning as the game goes on. Speaking of characters, Naughty Dog even remembered that Kira existed this time, and Jak's got his eye back on her again. Anyway, it's a racing game, obviously.
Don't worry. If there's one thing I can do, it's race.
And it controls perfectly. You want to know a small little detail that I love? Daxter's on the car, literally hanging on for his life. I love the little animation as you make a sharp turn. They didn't need to program that, but I'm really glad they did. It makes it feel more like, and it reminds you that you're playing a Jak and Daxter game, if you forgot somehow. As for the actual racing, it's so much fun. You practically always have your hand on the accelerating button to boost into high speeds. Now, Blue Eco is what gives you the high acceleration boost. It can also be earned for pulling off good side turns, and also air time. Yellow Eco will act as an attack weapon ranging from missiles to bombs and even full-blown nukes, while the Red Eco is more of a defense pickup, granting the player with things like a shield, gasoline to make the others slip, and mines to fire back at oncoming attack. All red abilities will block most oncoming attacks. Well, I say most, as only the shield is able to protect you from the blue shell of this game. Green Eco also fills your health. Now, as you take damage, a dark meter starts to rise, similar to Jak 2 and Jak 3's Dark Jak meter. The same can be said if you get kills, it will also rise then. Now, I like to call this mode Dark Jak, but really it's just when you've enhanced enough Dark Eco, your pickups, both defense and attack, will be upgraded. The gas I was on about earlier will now set on fire with the, as I'm going to call it from now on, Dark Jak mode, and the missiles will send out 4 instead of 2 this time with perfect precision. But watch you don't die by anything, even your own causes, as you will then lose Dark Jak and have to start earning it all over again. Now the game takes you through Crash City, the Wasteland, and also Haven City. There's even some snowy levels again that haven't been seen since Jak 1 days. I think the overall level design and the aesthetic of all the tracks are perfect. They really capture the returning areas perfectly while also making them feel like a brand new experience. It's hard to explain, but I'm gonna try. I know I'm in the Wasteland, for example, but it doesn't feel like I am at the same time. It's all brand new and they handle it flawlessly. So what do you do then, other than just race? There's gotta be something else. Well, there's other modes than just the racing one, and I'm going to go through some of those now. There's a time trial mode that you might think is easy, but can be very challenging at times. As you could have guessed, it's a race to finish the course below a certain time. You do this by collecting time freezing pickups that are worth various amounts of time. The more you stack, the longer the time will freeze. Not my most hated event, but it can become annoying over time. There's a hunting deathmatch mode in which you'll take out as many races as you can. This can be really fun, but then also frustrating when someone steals one of your kills right before you were about to finish them off. Turbo Dash is the next one I'll talk about, as this is one of my all-time favourites. Power cells from Jak 1 make a wonderful return. You have to collect them, but then hold the turbo till they are fully charged and fire off into the opponent in front of you. But be watchful, because those behind will send theirs flying to you too. So keep doing as many of that as you can until the time runs out to remain first place and get the win. Moving on from one of my favourite ones to one of my most hated ones, Rush Hour. Cars will be coming towards you and you have to keep hitting as many as you can to tally up a score before the time runs out. The blue cars are worth double and the red ones blow you up. It sounds easy, but it's actually vile, and one thing that had me getting really tired of this game was this event. Similar to that though, the death race has them going in the opposite direction and gives you weapons to be able to hunt them down for your revenge. These didn't cause me too much problems and I went on to enjoy them quite a lot. Capture, which is just boring. You grab a power cell and take it to your base, rinse and repeat, get a certain number, then you win. I'm not a fan of this, but they also put you on a team, which is the one and only game mode to do that, so there is that. And finally, an artifact race, where, like the name suggests, it is a race to grab as many artifacts as you can before the time has run out. Another one I don't really care for, but I also don't hate, unlike Rush Hour. The unfortunate thing is these events repeat over and over and over, some more than others, but oh god, do they get so repetitive. I honestly got tired before I was even finished, but I know why that is. The game is quite often hated on when people review it for its repetition. Well, I think that's because we all try to play through the game as fast as we can, so that way we can get the video review out without having to make you guys, the audience, wait too long between the previous game's review and this one. I said it to my partner that the game is really fun, even though it's repetitive. I'm just wearing myself out by playing it too much and too frequently. I think a couple hours a day here and there wouldn't feel as bad, but you got to imagine, I and no doubt other reviewers, we play these games in big chunks. I'm talking like 6, 7, 8 hours a session, sometimes even longer than that. Of course it's going to feel repetitive. I don't know really. I want to kind of blame the game because they should have spaced these events out more, but I'm going to have to take the fall here for this one myself. If it wasn't for me rushing through it as fast as I could, I don't think I'd have felt as fatigued once I made it to the 75% mark. Anyway, regardless of repetition, the game is still really fun. You get so many laughs when blowing up the other characters, and it's not too harsh if they keep blowing you up. There's almost always time to redeem it. Almost. Throughout the story, you'll always be playing as Jak, but in the expedition mode, there is a huge list of characters. All the races you encountered during the game you can now play as, and there's a whole bunch of secret races that you get for having played the previous titles. If you have a save file for Jak 1, you'll get Jak 1's Jak to play as. This is the same for Jak 2 and Jak 3. Also, if you've played Daxter on the PSP, you can sync that one up to unlock Daxter as a playable character, along with a few characters from his Daxter PSP game, and the coolest vehicle ever. And then if you've played Ratchet Gladiator, you get to unlock Ratchet as a fully playable character. Now this is mind-blowing to me because they actually got James Arnold Taylor to fully voice lines for him. Now I was playing on the PS4 version, so it gets a little bit messy when going about unlocking these characters. It's simple with Jak 1, 2 and 3. I mean, for those you need a save file with the emulated versions. As I only brought X, I couldn't get them. I used the PS3 HD collection for the original 3 when reviewing them, so there's no way that I was buying them on PS4 just for a PS2 emulation when I already own the originals on PS2 and the PS3 HD collection, I was not going to buy the original PS2 emulated versions all over again just to unlock 3 characters. But for Ratchet it's much more simple, you just need a save data for the Ratchet & Clank PS4 game. But oddly enough for Daxter and all his game characters, you need a save data from Nathan Drake? It's just weird requirements, that is. But goddamn, talk about an awesome Easter egg, being able to grab all those cool characters. You can also technically take Clank with you, but it's only a customizable antenna. Now the music for this game is drastically different to the previous 3 titles, going for a more louder and heavier set of tracks. Surprisingly, even though I don't normally dip into this style of music, I really do enjoy all of the tracks this game had to offer. They work perfectly to make you feel badass while you're burning rubber. And good lord, the music in that intro cutscene is just something else. Well, a quick spoiler warning here, the last thing we have to talk about is the story. And I know I touched on it earlier, but I'm spoiling it this time, so I can talk about something that really bothers me. So it turns out that GT Blitz is really Miso, because as if that wasn't obvious from within halfway through the game. But it's after that you hunt him down, you have a really badass line.
You have a habit of leaving people to die, don't you? You get used to it.
You finally get that kiss with Kira. You then find out that Crew's daughter betrayed them all. Okay, that's fair enough. It leaves with a cliffhanger. Oh boy, I can't wait to find out how that pays off in the next tack. What? This is just completely scrapped and forgotten about? Dropped like it didn't even happen? So we can play this pile of Oh, wonderful. And what a great shame I just wasted £45 on this game. I originally paid £25, but CX couldn't find it. Obviously didn't check the garbage bin, as it was probably in there having a nice tea party with Crash Mind Over Mutants. So I've had to resort to eBay. So look forward to that bombshell of a video, as that will be the next, and well, my script here says the final Jak and Daxter game we'll be looking at, but since recording that, as I said in the intro, it is not the final Jak and Daxter game we will be reviewing. We have 2 more to do, but never mind those 2 right now. We are doing the Jak X video, so it is not over yet without a proper rating and final conclusion. So without any further ado, Jak X Combat Racing is seriously a fun title, and when it's core racing, it's at its best. Taking the racing and adding the combat makes it so much better, with a faster overall pace, but it's just brought down by the repetitive game modes that just plain suck. While some are good, others just completely soil the experience for me, and I think it should have, and would have, been better just sticking to the core combat racing. Good idea to innovate, but unfortunately the execution was worse than the ideas, and for that reason I'll have to give Jak X Combat Racing a 7 out of 10. Still a really fun game, which is something I don't expect to be saying in the next Jak game review. Until then everybody, have a good day, and I'll see you in the hell that is the Lost Frontier, but then the nice heaven that is Daxter. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, guys.